Good time zones, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Richmond Raceway. Tonight, the Racers Elite Tuesday Night Truck Series rolls into the Chaos Factory live right here on Racers Elite Network, powered by iRacing. I'm Mike Taylor up here in the booth. Right beside me is the one, the only Andrew Teft. And making sure what you see doesn't catch on fire, it's the one, the only Christian Hill handling production. This is just another stop on our march toward the holiday shutdown, where every point will matter as we finish up here in Richmond as we get ready to take on 140 laps around this track. Next week, we will head over to Daytona, and then after Daytona, we're going to take a couple weeks off, and then we will come back in January 6th over in Las Vegas to round out our regular season. And then we will hit up a fast short track of Five Flags to Phoenix to Texas, and then the season finale over in Chicagoland on February 3rd. The points are looking absolutely phenomenal here at Richmond. Standing on top of the points, it's Blair Holloman, who has been holding the advantage for now, but Sean Dunaway, he is back with 231 points and wants to eat into that gap before this break. Patrick Millett, he will sit third with 221 points. Troy Thomas fourth with 217. And Kensley Smith, he will round out our top five with 207 points. That whole group is within striking distance if someone nails Richmond and Daytona back to back. So don't count anybody out just yet in your top five. As we go ahead and let's go ahead and get an overview of your track. Richmond Raceway is a 3/4 mile riddle that punishes impatience. And it looks simple, but it really is not. Corner exit out of turn 2 is going to be everything for these drivers. Tire wear is everything for these drivers. And the racing line, it is unpredictable every single lap. So these drivers who can keep their nose clean, manage the right front, and they will absolutely look like geniuses out here. And everyone will swear the truck has changed just to spite them. Andrew, I know that you were out here a little bit ago turning some laps with these guys. How's this racetrack treating these drivers tonight?
I believe the track was rescanned since the last time I was here, so I was just noticing a few surface differences that I didn't recognize. Now there's a patch in turn 1, dark paved patch that goes across the track. And just some of the bumps and grooves seem a little bit more defined than they used to be, but overall, just kind of typical tight Richmond Tucson exit. Fuel is about 70 laps for the range, so we're short track racing, so the likelihood of it going green is probably not very high, but if it did, we'd be very close on a one stop.
Yeah, if our marker is about 70 laps, so that literally splits this race in half. So that means you're gonna have to do a lot of clutching just to try to save some fuel in these race trucks tonight. If you guys do like what you see here, you can always join us at racerselite.com. Find us right there in Discord, and you could definitely come on out and join us. You could also just scan that QR code right there on your screen. As we have just a little bit under a minute and a half remaining here in qualifying. We're coming down to a lot of really interesting things. This week at Richmond, then next week we're heading to Daytona. So what happens here can really change the dynamic of next week. Because these drivers will know, okay, well now I really have to, push hard. Versus if you come out here and have a strong finish here at Richmond, you can go, okay, now I can take a little bit of a relaxer for next week, but I still want to finish somewhat strong.
Yeah, definitely. And restrictor plate races or that wild card that can get you in if you're not in points contention, because this is a win and you're in type chase where if you don't point your way in, as long as you meet the minimum number of regular season races, you can still find your way in the chase.
Definitely. And while we have just a few more moments here, let's go ahead and take a look at our race analysis and our weather here tonight, since the pace laps here are going to go by pretty quick here right before the start. Sorry to do that to you, Christian. So your weather conditions, 67 degrees outside with the track temperature sitting at 70 Fahrenheit. It's partly cloudy with 2-mile-per-hour winds to the southwest. Humidity is 95%. Your race length here tonight is going to be 140 laps, 5 sets of tires, 65% fuel. These drivers will have only one fast repair, so they got to keep that in mind. And we will have 3 attempts at your Green-White-Checkered. And ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and go over our starting lineup for tonight's 140 lapper here at Richmond. Starting on the pole, it is going to be Blair Holloman, and Sean Dunaway will be joining him to the outside. On the inside of row number 2 is Kensley Smith in that number 15 Napa Auto Parts machine, and to his outside is Trutho. Row number 3, Stephen Luttrell will be joined by Cliff Adams on the outside of that number 80 machine. Row 4, you have Troy Thomas and Curtis Ecker. Row number 5, Alan Wild and Chris Gotzel in that number 707 machine. Jesse Fox and Mikey Allen will share row number 6. Row number 7, you got Barry Nelson and Aaron Roth. Row number 8, Jonathan Stidham and Alex Teff in that number 43 machine. Row 9, you have Frank Chavez and Jordan Sailors will be joining him to the outside. Kyle Hess will be in the outside of row number 10. Row number 11, you got Brandon Sanfilippo and Mike Fudge. Row 12, you got Philip Archibald and Timothy Eisberg. Row 13, rounding out your field, Brett Bray in that number 17 Ford Performance machine. We're getting ready to have some really good racing, really good strong cars out here tonight. Who are you keeping your eye on as this race goes on?
Blair Holloman feels like an easy pick. He's picking up right where he left off last week, which is up front. And the guy right next to him, Sean Dunaway, he's no slouch on short tracks either, so you might see a classic duel between those two.
Yeah, that's what I am anticipating for sure, but I'm going to keep my eye on that number 15 of Kensley Smith right behind. I haven't really seen too much action out of Kensley Smith here on short tracks, but if he is just as good on short tracks that he is everywhere else, then I can't imagine anything go wrong for Kensley Smith here tonight, starting up there in that P3. But I'm also going to be watching your brother Alex. I know he's a little bit further back there in the field, but I have a feeling that by the end of this, he might be able to sneak his way up towards the front of this field.
Yeah, he has a way of kind of jumping in last second, skipping practice, and just figuring it out on the fly. Sometimes you can avoid some of those silly mistakes you'll make in the race if you just do a few laps in practice. But he's been doing this for a while now, and it seems to work out all right.
Hey, you know what? That's all that really matters at the end of the day, and we're going to go ahead and get ready to let this green flag fly as the pace truck pulls off here at Richmond Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going green right here on Racers Elite Network for the for the Racers Elite Tuesday Night Truck Series, as these drivers now will dive down here into turn number 1 for the very first time. Still pretty much side by side. Blair Holloman, he was able to get out right there in front of Sean Dunaway on the exit, as they will go ahead and continue to drive around for the first time around this track under green. And now Sean Dunaway, he is looking to overtake for the race lead early on as they dive down into turn number 1. Kesley Smith, he's trying to hold strong on the outside. Passing on the outside is it's pretty tough to do here at Richmond, but you know, Kesley Smith, I feel he's probably that one driver that can make it happen on the outside.
Yeah, more times than not, you just want to give up the spot and get to the bottom because his tires are going to be screaming even just after a couple laps. But you know, if you can get the pass done quickly, sometimes it doesn't hurt him too bad.
Yeah, for sure. As you see
here.
Yeah, I was about to say, you know, as Sean Dunaway, he does come out and get around. Smith gets around Dunaway, and now he's actually looking to attack on the outside now on Blair Holloman. So he's looking to go 2 for 2 on the outside, and if that's the case, I wonder how many other drivers are going to be watching that as well and go, hey, maybe we could pass on the outside tonight.
I think Blair and Sean are probably thinking, hey, we'll see you again in a few laps here. Go ahead. But tire wear is just so critical here at Richmond.
That is true. You know, and that's one thing with Kensley as well, is he knows how to save tires, but yet still be wicked fast. So it's definitely going to be very interesting to see what he can do tire wear wise. As we're going to start, you know, these guys are ready to think about crunching laps, about you know, their pit times now. So when do I want to come in? When do I not want to come in? You know, and ultimately, I guess we're going to have to see how this goes on. And, you know, are you going to try to make it a one-stop race if we stay green? There's a lot of questions to be answered as this goes on. Very good racing up here, man.
Yeah, tons of side-by-side. Kind of curious to see what happens with Kensley here after he's been kind of going at it early for a few laps. I don't know, to me it seems like the tires are a little easier to damage the first few laps, but yeah, it's kind of different every time you show up at a track.
Definitely. I couldn't agree more with that.
Weather's a little cool today. I think we're talking about 70-degree air temp. Nighttime conditions.
Yeah, so that does make our track temperature a little bit on the lower side. So these cars, they will have a little bit of extra grip, which I'm sure all of these drivers are really happy about. You know, as trying to get off at turn 2, it's absolutely crazy as you see that 707 machine just force his way down in between the 67 and I believe it was that 57 machine. He kind of just like stuck his nose there, and he had to make the 57 had to make a quick jump to the outside, not to cause any issues. But that right there was a really good catch, Christian. Good job. I'm telling you guys, Christian, he is a wizard on the cameras. He knows exactly where he wants to go. And we just follow along with him at this point because he will never, ever, ever steer us wrong. But man, that 707 of Chris Gosel, he's starting to try to march his way forward now. After losing five positions since the start of this race. So he's kind of starting to fall backwards, but he's looking now to try to make his way back towards the front.
We got a yellow on the course.
Yeah, we do have a yellow.
I'm not sure where. Looks like he might have towed already.
Yep, does look like that number 99 of Archibald had issues. I think he had a hardware malfunction. That's exactly what it looked like to me. So as you guys see, he's coming through here out of turn 4. and the wheel just absolutely locks left.
Well, he did mention that he just bought a new one and was having some trouble, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's just an absolute heartless feeling, when something like that happens and, you have absolutely no control of your vehicle. Like, he
Yeah.
can't even get on the brake right there.
Yeah, luckily for everybody around him, he was able to kind of just contain that to himself somehow.
Yeah, definitely did a really good job there. As we take a look here at that number 88 machine, he's snuck his way up there into the top four. He's moved up 3 spots since we went green flag tonight. And I'm showing not many takers on pit road this time.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. A little surprised by that. We've got a lot of tires in the pits. These guys have 4 sets laying there, plus the set that they start with. This will make this a one-stop race for everybody at this point. You can easily stretch that on fuel. Just a matter of how many tire sets you want to use during that course. Sometimes we do see some long green flag runs here. It is a short track, but it's a larger, wider one, so it's easy to give each other some space. And a lot of times, if somebody spins, it's outside of the racing groove where iRacing won't necessarily trigger one. So just always keeping that potential for a long green flag run in the back of your head.
Yeah, definitely here on the front straightaway if someone gets loose, and go down into that grass area. They won't really call it down there, so. Now we're going to go ahead and get ready to go back green flag. The pace truck is off here once again. Coming to lap number 18 of 140. The green flag is back out. Looks like Kesley Smith, he's going to bring the field to the green flag. And Sean Dunaway, he will go ahead and claim that second spot. And right behind him, Curtis Ecker in that 8 machine, he has gone ahead and gotten in front of your field to claim that third spot. As you see, that 33 and 88 of Troy Thomas and Alan Wild, they're going to run side by side. And another yellow. Another yellow is out. It looks like it could be for possibly Mike Fudge. Yeah, Mike Fudge in that number 2 machines brought out this recent yellow. Let's go ahead and come back here and take a look, see what happened. He's all the way back there in the last bit of that of the field, and it looks like just a 3-wide situation. Yep. Definitely does not help and does not work here.
Wondering if we'll see more takers on pit road this time. I think Blair was the first one who pitted that last time. He fell back to about 15th.
Correct, yeah.
Stephen Luttrell, who also pitted with him, is in 14th.
So they're still going to stay out here. That 33 truck, while we're just sitting here looking at it, I actually like that paint scheme. I ain't gonna lie. It's simple, but yet it makes everything pop on it.
That would be Alan Wild.
Yeah.
Looks like we might be getting the one to go here.
Yep. We are getting ready to go one to go. Kesley Smith, Sean Dunaway. They will make up your front row. Troy Thomas and Curtis Ecker will make up row 4. And Alex Teft, he is up 10 or 11 spots here. And he's going to be joining Alan Wild on the outside there of row 3. So, Alex Teft, he's slowly been making his way up through the field here. Pace truck is in, and Kesley Smith will bring the field to the green flag. What an incredible jump there out of Kesley Smith. As Dunaway, he will go ahead and get himself sorted out, single foul behind him. But everybody else will continue to run 2 wide here on the back straightaway. I know in that first run, it took us probably just about maybe like 5 laps to really get these guys sorted out into position. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything else here will play out and how long it will take these guys to get themselves sorted out as we look and to go 3 wide between the 33, the Alex Teff there in the 43, and Barry Nelson, I believe that was in the 28. He was looking to take everybody 3 wide. As we take a look back here at the 707 of Chris Gosel, he's working to the... Say that again? Okay. Yeah, so he's back there, fighting, watching that 80 of Cliff Adams now. Trying to make his way up through the field here as he is right behind that 36 of Steve Luttrell, back in that 11th spot. As these guys continue to run side by side, and it's very awkward seeing that 36, honestly, to be back here right about that 10th spot after he had one heck of a performance last week.
Yeah, these guys have got some fresh tires, but they're also in some pretty heavy traffic. See Blair in the wall right there pretty significantly, but looks to be okay.
Yeah, Blair Holloman, he's trying to make his way back through the front of this field as we continue to watch Cliff Adams work on the inside there of Aaron Roth. He's going to get around him, and he's going to continue to follow Stephen Luttrell through the field.
So many different lines you can run here, and they're very, very specific lines, like down to a matter of inches.
Yeah. As you see Ecker get there in the wall on the exit turn 2 there. Yeah, ever since they they revamped this track just a little bit, the racing has gotten themselves a little bit more widened, and so not everybody is really now trying to get to that inside lane. And that's something that we used to see in years past, but so far tonight, these guys are either really, really good, or the track is just allowing them to, run different lanes. And I think it's going to be the latter of the two. These guys are just really, really good. Andrew, you got a good group. You know that?
Thank you, Mike. Got Stephen Luttrell working his way up front now. Get to see what the difference of old and new tires look like, about 20 laps difference.
Yeah, Stephen Luttrell's he has been on a rampage the last few weeks, trying to get himself back towards the front of the points as we're getting ready to end the regular season after 2 more races after this. So, he's still got a lot of time to go, but he at the same time he doesn't have too much time either.
Yeah, Steven actually just won our Snowball Derby event this past Saturday.
Oh yeah,
Feels
yeah. I
like a long
forgot
time
to.
ago already.
Yeah, I forgot to tell him. Congratulations on that, as I did have prior commitments. But yeah, Stephen Luttrell. I heard that he just came out and absolutely dominated over at Five Flags, and that's probably going to give him a lot of, you know, momentum when they start round one, of your guys' run for the championship. As we take a look here at Stephen Luttrell trying to get on the inside here of Jordan Sailors, almost, almost a little contact, but not quite. As he will go ahead and continue to run side by side with him on the back straightaway, he will get him cleared. And now he's looking at that 33 of Alan Wild now. And Alex Tuff, he is still up there pushing through positions. Finally got himself to the top 5. But here comes that 36 of Stephen Luttrell and company as they come out of turn 2 back into turn number 3. Just really good side-by-side racing. These older tires versus newer tires. As of right now, they're not really like showing a huge difference. It's still taking them, a couple laps to actually get around one of the other older trucks on tires.
Yeah, you get a few really fast laps out of them, and they kind of just sort of plateau.
As you take a look, and Stephen Luttrell, he's now knocking on the back bumper of Alex Teft. He's looking now to get into the top 5 here. And this is just an absolute incredible run here for Stephen Luttrell coming up. And now looking at Jordan Sailors in that number 39 machine. He's slowly starting to pull his self around as well. As you see Blair Holloman in that U-Haul truck starting to make his way towards the front.
Stephen Luttrell's gotten by Alex up front. You can really see the 36 pullway in the center of the corner on that fresh rubber.
Yeah.
It's where you see the biggest difference.
Yeah, definitely the biggest difference for sure.
Right there where he closes in on Troy on both ends. Just makes it a lot easier to pass when you've got that advantage.
Oh yeah. As he's going to try to bring Alex Teft with him, but Alex Teft not really able to get onto the inside there, but now he's going to get on the inside there of the 88 of Thomas, and now Luttrell's going to try to, Alex Teft is now going to try to follow through, but still struggling just a little bit to get around him. But Stephen Luttrell, he's still on that rampage up through the field now, as he gets right behind Ecker now. Come on, Alex, you can do it.
I just saw him do something that I like to do off of 4, which was keep the truck really low. There's some extra grip down there.
Yeah.
Something that I see Logano and Truex back when he raced all the time. See them do a lot. I don't know if the track's just not as used down there, but you're able to get a nice kind of straight grippy launch down there.
Yeah, that is true. As weird as it sounds, a lot of people go, oh, well, all the rubber is on the black line that you guys see in the corners.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that's just not always the case. Sometimes these tires will grip a lot better off the black line than you would normally.
Gotta pass them where they are.
Definitely. These guys are putting on one heck of a show up here.
As a driver, you kind of feel obligated to go all the way out to the wall, but this is one of those tracks where you don't really have to, and you can kind of carry the same speed down the straights.
Yeah. You know, and there's not many short tracks can do that. I mean, Iowa you might be able to, because it's very, very similar. But here at Richmond, you don't necessarily have to, hold it all the way around and, do your normal exits. As you saw that last time off turn 2, Ecker just plowed hard into the outside wall.
Kensley and Sean have kind of checked out a little bit up front. Got about a second gap over Steve with fresh tires. They're probably hoping for a caution right now. I think even the guys behind Kensley would have to pit again because it's been so many laps. So,
Yeah, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you're Kensley or Alex or any of these guys that stayed out and you're going to caution now, it's like those guys wasted a set.
Yeah, definitely. And, I was actually getting ready to mention, about them pulling away. And, these two are putting a good separation between themselves and Stephen Luttrell in that number 36 machine. But back up here to your race leader, they're just, these guys just know how to get it done. As you see Dunaway now looking onto the inside of Kensley. As they come here through turns 1 and 2 down the back straightaway, they will drag race. But Kensley just had that better run that time out of the exit of turn 2. But let's see what Dunaway can do on the exit of turn 4.
Yeah, I think Sean sees Steve coming up behind him and knows he's got to use whatever advantage he's got left. It's not a ton of laps left in this run for them. I think they can make it to about lap 75 based on the fuel they've saved under yellow.
Yeah, as we are working or coming to lap 53 now. So we're probably just about a little bit under 25 laps from when we need to come in for fuel for your drivers that stayed out under those last couple cautions. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all will play out as we continue to look back to Kensley Smith from the deck lid there of Sean Dunaway.
A little bit of 3-wide action deeper in the pack. I think Mike Fudge is getting lapped up by the wall. It seems like they squared that away.
Yeah, and here comes Sean Dunaway now. He's finally caught up to Kensley Smith. I'm sorry, Stephen Luttrell finally got caught up to Sean Dunaway and Kensley Smith as he got around Smith just fine now. He's on the hunt for Sean Dunaway.
Wow, these center speeds are down to about 90 miles per hour, maybe high 80s in some cases.
Man, just look at Stephen Luttrell just rocking around those two like they're somewhat standing still. It took him a couple laps to finally catch him, but now he's got it right in front of him. Now he's going to start to pull himself away from your from the second and third place of Sean Dunaway and Kensley Smith. And everybody else pretty much throughout the rest of the field are now just about single file as we come back up here and catch up with Alan Wild in that number 33 machine. Trying to get around Troy Thomas and trying to hold off Truth Hope back there in that number 55 machine.
These guys are starting to push pretty heavily. I just watched Alan Wild try to make a pass on Troy a few laps ago and almost pushed up into him. Probably would have spun them both, but he backed out and did the respectful thing, saved them both. But you could tell he's really struggling to cut in the center. Troy's got fresher tires here. You can see him going by pretty easily.
Yep.
Meant to say truth. I might have said Troy.
Welcome to the club. Trying to call these races, it's like having multiple kids. You go through all your kids before you get to the right one.
Oh, we got to pass. Well, Kensley's starting to lose a few more spots here now that Sean's got by him. You can really tell these newer tires are starting to have an advantage at this point. I think they've got to survive another 15 laps or so before they can come in.
Yeah, at this point they're just holding on and praying that they don't fall back too far. So they're just holding on and praying for a caution, as we do have Kensley Smith in that number 15. He's going ahead and go and bring his machine down pit road.
Yeah, this worries me. This one worries me because he's not going to be able to make it to the end from here, whereas other guys will be able to, so he's going to be banking on a yellow.
No, definitely. He's definitely going to be banking on it. It's going to be very, very close. Because, ultimately, he's going to have to save at least 6 or 7 laps of fuel if he wants to make it to the end.
In real life, in the stages, we see guys pit in extra time and make up like 2 laps, but just based on what we've seen tonight with the tires, I don't think that's going to be in the cards.
Yeah, definitely going to be very interesting to see here. As the 12 gets into the back of the 88 there, so Brandon Sanfilippo got into the back of Troy Thomas, kind of trying to shove him out of the way, it seemed like a little bit there. But now here comes Alan Wild. He's going to take advantage of that situation, and he's going to get around Sanfilippo, and now he's going to try to work on the inside there of Thomas.
Looks like Troy got a little bit of damage in the left rear out of that. If he suddenly starts looking really loose, that's probably why.
From your experience, what will that kind of damage do to your race truck here at Richmond?
I would say mostly loose on entry. You just lose a lot of rear stability. Just a small amount of damage back there will just make it feel like your spoiler fell entirely off. Maybe in trucks you get away with it a little bit more, but yeah, sometimes it's really sketchy. You definitely don't want damage. Sometimes you can get away with a little, but you never want it.
Definitely, I can see that for sure. As Sanfilippo, he is still holding very strong on the outside there of that number 33, as the 33 slips up just a little bit and had to get out of the gas to not run over the 12 car. So that was a pretty smart move there from Alan Wild to back off just to avoid getting on contact. But now Sanfilippo, he's attacking on the inside of Troy Thomas, and he's going to go ahead and clear him here down into turn number 3. And now Sanfilippo, he's going to start to pull away now.
All right, we're reaching the halfway point here. I think if I had to, I could pit from here and make it to the end, but probably want a few more laps as a buffer, and you don't want to come in too early and have a yellow come out and get stuck laps down. So I think the guys that have stayed out will probably just run their tanks dry and then come in.
Yeah, definitely.
Pit road's a little tough here. A lot of people like to kind of bail off on the backstretch before you get to the corner. You almost need to, because you just need that space for braking.
Yeah, it looked like Alan Wild, I believe it was, he came down pit road, um, and he might. I feel like somebody might have just missed the commitment line there, getting down onto pit road. No, okay. I guess everything is all cleared with that, as I don't see any black flags at the moment.
Oh no.
Oh,
It could have been worse.
definitely could have been worse.
At least it didn't go all the way around.
Yeah, but that just cost him, a lot of time here at Richmond, though.
Yeah. That
So
pit exit, the box that you have to, I'm trying to think of how to say it. On pit exit in iRacing, you've got to stay on the apron until about the backstretch. Normally there's a blue line that you have to cross before you can enter the racing surface.
Yeah.
This one, it really just wants to throw you onto the track off of turn 2. You really got to make an effort to stay down there and not get that penalty. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a couple guys maybe get that.
Yeah. That's definitely one.
Might have changed from the last scan because I don't remember it being quite that difficult.
Yeah, I think the most difficult one, for oval wise, is Dover. Oh, hold on to it. Hold on to it. Into the wall.
Probably gonna. Nope, he's gonna keep it going.
Yeah, he's going to keep it going. Jordan Sailors lost it out of turn 2 and hit the inside wall. He's going to go ahead and bring his machine back down onto pit road to probably get some of this damage fixed that he just incurred. So, while you're down there, might as well go ahead and he missed it. A somewhat decent day for Jordan Sailors, just absolutely went down the drain here at Richmond. Big unfortunate incidents here for Jordan Sailors.
These guys that just came down pit road were praying that he kept it together. He did a really good job. It would have been really easy to let a yellow come out there.
Oh yeah, for sure. So as you see him, he's getting repairs done on his machine. I'm assuming that he used up his fast repair on his first pit stop. I'm assuming because he's still sitting down there. As we jump back here to that 8 machine of Curtis Ecker.
It's only got 5 cars on the lead lap momentarily while this pit cycle happens.
Yeah, most of these guys are the ones that pitted under caution, under that first caution. As you see, Cliff Adams, he's now in. Jesse Fox finally came back down. So now we're just waiting for Stephen Luttrell, Blair Holloman, and Truth Hope all to come down pit road.
Yeah, I think these guys could go to about lap 95 or so. So they've got about another 15 that they could run, but if I were them, I don't think I would want to go that far, just based on what we've seen out of the tires. It took a long time for them to work their way through the pack, and Alex, for instance, who was on older stuff, I think he was only about 4 seconds behind when he went in, and he's gone a few laps now, so quickly eat away at that gap. Only 2 cars that haven't pit at this point. That would be Truth and Steve.
Yeah, the separation between Stephen Luttrell and Truth Hope is 11 seconds.
I think we're seeing Steve come in right now, actually.
Yep, he's making that hard left hand onto pit road, and now we're looking here at Cliff Adams, I believe. Oh, going back to Stephen Luttrell.
We do provide a bonus point for leading a lap. Might be what Truth is after here.
Yeah, definitely. Do you see him coming down, getting some 4 fresh Goodyear tires? And he's away.
And there goes Alex by Steve. So he did actually build a little gap on him. Made up that 4 or 5 second gap that he had when he came into pit, and then plus a little bit more.
Yeah.
Now Steve's gonna have the fresher stuff now, and we'll be able to run him down.
Yep, Truth Oak is now down on pit road, and that should turn the race over to Kensley Smith.
I think about everybody but Kensley could probably make it to the end. I don't know if there was anybody else that pitted a little early like he did. I think he might have been the only one. So he's really going to be hoping for a yellow. He did build a pretty big gap by coming in that early, but yeah, it's a gamble. It's racing.
Hey, you're not trying if you don't take a gamble. Stephen Luttrell, he's just starting to push his way through the field now. He's saying, "Excuse me, coming through, pardon me." There is just a little bit of a buffer here between Alex Teft and Stephen Luttrell for that third spot. You see here Stephen Luttrell, he's now going to try to make his way around that 67 machine. Going to go ahead and put him another lap down. Whoa! Big movement out of that 80 machine.
That one looked like it hurt the 67 pretty good. It's a pretty strong lick off the corner. Wouldn't be surprised if he had some wheel damage from that one.
Yeah, just once again, you know, just what a phenomenal save. You know, something I am absolutely not used to here at Richmond is these long green flag runs. You know, so normally by now, you know, we're working like caution like 4 or 5 in almost anything that I race in or I'm watching. And these guys, they're just absolutely doing a fantastic job tonight.
Yeah, the strategy is so much fun. We can play it out like this. All the different tire strategies, fuel strategies, comers, goers. It just makes it so much more fun than just doing pace laps behind a pace car.
Yeah, as we're riding on board here with Blair Holloman as he's working on the inside of Cliff Adams of that number 80 machine. He's going to go ahead and be able to complete that pass here out of turn number 4. So Blair, he's slowly but surely starting to make his way back up through the field. As we see Stephen Luttrell now, he's all over the back bumper of Alex Teft in that number 43 machine. As he's going to go ahead and try to make his nose go inside, he will get there. And so these guys will be side by side coming out of turn number 2. And right on their heel is Blair Holloman, your current points leader. As you see, Stephen Luttrell, he was able to get him cleared, and now it's going to be up to Blair Holloman to see how quick he can make work out of Alex Teft. Not able to do anything just yet, but Stephen Luttrell, he's slowly starting to make his way back to the back bumper of Sean Dunaway and Kensley Smith. So Blair Holloman, he was able to get around Alex Teft, and that'll throw Alex back into that 5th spot. As you guys see here, Sean Dunaway, Stephen Luttrell, he is gaining on Sean Dunaway in that 01 Hello Kitty Chevrolet. So we're about to see how quick Stephen Luttrell can get around that 01 machine. He just pulled over, let him go. I think that was a very smart move there by Sean, you know, to avoid from losing so much time trying to battle for that position, knowing that Luttrell has those fresher tires. As you see, Kensley Smith, he's coming back down pit road again. So I don't think his plan was working out for him, and he knew that. So he's going to go ahead and come down and get some fresh tires on his race truck.
Outside, he'll probably be the lucky dog for a little while. He'll be quick, so he should be able to unlap himself, but yeah, I would have helped having a yellow with his strategy.
Yeah, definitely, as he's now just went one lap down, and he is now out of the pits now, so he can go ahead and get himself throttled up and start to play catch up with the rest of the field as he exits turn 2 now. As your race leader, he will come to the start-finish line. So Stephen Luttrell out front in that number 36 Toyota, doing a phenomenal job keeping everybody at bay. As you see, just about 1 second back behind Luttrell, you do have Blair Holloman. So right now it's Stephen Luttrell's race as we cross over to lap 100 of the event.
Maybe Christian could help us out with the last lap hit graphic again. I like to ask for that every race. Was there about 2 lap difference between Steven and Blair? Looks like 63 and 61. It's kind of small on my screen. 83 inning? Oh, it's
80,
last lap pit stop.
Yep, 82 and lap 80. Or, yeah, 83, 81.
So there should be a relatively equal battle.
Oh, definitely. You know, I can't... And it's also going to, you know, really determine, you know, who was able to save, you know, their tires coming through the field. As, you know, as we know, that's something that Blair Holloman and Stephen Luttrell are both really good at, saving their tires. So, you know, he may have 2 fresh or 2 lap older tires than Holloman, but Luttrell, he might be able to take care enough to run just about the same as Blair. As Blair got extremely sideways out of turn 2 again. So the last 2 laps, he's trying to get the most out of it, and he keeps getting his truck pretty loose coming out of turn 2. That time, a much better exit there for Blair Holloman in that number 32 Chevrolet. And he's starting to gain probably just a little bit here on Stephen Luttrell. Let's take a look. Currently 1.1. Now, Stephen Luttrell, he is pulling away just a little bit here. But Blair Holloman, he is running more consistent laps. But they're just not really, really fast like it is for Stephen Luttrell. Yeah, as you guys see right there, the separation between the 2 drivers is now just under 1.2 seconds above 1.2. And then heading down here into the corner, I can guarantee it's probably going to go back down to 1.1, as you see right there. So, seems like seems like Holloman is better on entry, but Luttrell, he's just much stronger on exit. So that kind of balances themselves out, you know, as this race goes on. So you're going to watch that number, you know, for majority of the race just jump back and forth between the 2. But this time so far, Holloman, he has been a little bit quicker now, getting it down to just under a second to that back bumper of Stephen Luttrell. Alex Teft and Sean Dunaway, they're back there battling it out for that 4th spot. I just watched them switch spots just a couple of times already. Right now it's Alex Teft getting the better of Sean Dunaway. Sorry to take the battle away from the lead there. Yeah, so right there, that was a really good look at, Dunaway keeping that low side that you were talking about earlier, Andrew. Coming out of the corner, how you can, you could keep that truck down on the lower side, especially at a turn 4. You saw it right there on the exit turn 2, how Dunaway, he stayed pretty much near that white line down the back straightaway.
Yeah, both ends there's quite a bit of grip down at the bottom. Just gotta be a little extra patient in the center. Feels like you're out of the gas too long, but kind of got to convince yourself to just do it and commit to it, and it does pay off after a while.
Yeah, definitely doing that. As a race car driver, it's one of those moments in time where you're like, okay, I want to get in it, gotta get in it, and you're like, no, gotta wait, and you're like, all right, I'm in it, nope, too early. And it's just one of those mind games that the speed and the cars mess with you, as you're driving around any circuit. Because, you have to wait, but you absolutely just want to get into it to get fast,
Mm-hmm.
And I know that I have become a victim of that quite a few times. But as of right now, these drivers out here, they know how to be patient and not really push it out of these corners, so... we're only seeing I've probably only seen about 6 or 7 different cars the whole race get into the outside wall on the exit. And mainly that happens when they're all running in a group. When the cars behind you can't really tell how fast their wall is coming up because you're still following the guy in front. Mm-hmm. But other than that, there's only been a handful of drivers that actually hit the wall by themselves on the exit of turn 2.
Yeah, got about 23, 24 to go.
This race is just absolutely flying by. I can't believe we're already down almost to 20 laps to go here at Richmond. As we take a look here at Timothy Eisberg trying to work on the outside of Troy Thomas. Not able to get a run there, but he's still trying to see what he can do about moving up as we have one truck get sideways out of turn 2. I believe that might have been...
Stidham, I believe, in the 42.
Okay, so that, Jonathan Stidham in the 42 machine. Yeah, you got extremely loose there on exit that last time by. As we take a look here as Eisberg, he's now looking on the inside of Thomas. He's going to be able to pinch him a little bit up on the high side. Hold on to it, Eisberg. What a save there, but that's going to allow Truth Hoke now to work to the outside of Eisberg as they will come out of turn 2 and drag race down the back straightaway. Once again, Eisberg gets really loose there on exit, and he is going to lose the position to to Hoke. Now, this is about the time where Eisberg, he's usually a little bit more up on the wheel, trying to get his machine to go a little faster.
You can see how most of these guys are even on the straightaways at this point. It's just hard to get those rear tires to connect.
Yeah, I was actually getting ready to say, his truck is really, really loose.
Yeah, I watched Alex a few times also kind of get a little bobbly down the straights and touch the wall a little bit. But trying to power down on it. the wheels just kind of have varying grip and it'll send you a little sideways. Rear ones in particular.
Yeah, so this view right here, it really shows you, you know, how much these trucks are moving around. You know, so you really don't have much time to breathe here at Richmond. You know, as you see that wheel still moving back and forth there just a little bit. Oh! Up the track goes Hoke, but Eisberg was able to lift. What? Good, quick movements there out of Eisberg to avoid from getting into the back of Hoke there, as he will now come out of turn number 2.
Kensley's getting close to unlapping himself here. Might be able to pick off a few more spots and have a decent recovery.
Yeah, he's definitely doing an incredible job at trying to pick off your leaders here. You know, as he's coming up back behind Truth Hoke and Timothy Eisberg and company. But we're still watching Eisberg there at number 92, as, you know, we're still seeing that machine get wicked loose into these corners.
Starting to get into a little bit of lap traffic here also. See a group of 3 guys about 20 seconds behind. A lap here is only about 23 seconds.
Yeah,
that tells you they're pretty close.
As you just sit here and listen, you know, you can hear cars bouncing off the wall. You know, and that just shows how hard these cars will bounce off the wall. You know, they may be on the other side of the track, but they're hitting so hard that you can hear them here in turn 1 if they're hitting it off in turn 4.
You can hear your competitors hitting it when you're in the car too.
Yeah.
Kind of scary when you know they're alongside you and hear a wall scrape.
Absolutely. As you see, Stephen Luttrell now putting Eisberg 1 lap down there. Now he's got Truth Hoke and Troy Thomas in front of him now, as they're going to somewhat pinch your race leader in between each other here. Yeah, Truth Hoke's team must be letting him know that the race leader is coming, because he's leaving that door wide open on the inside for your race leader. As you see that number 15, Kelly Smith, he's trying to get around him as we have 10 laps to go this time by. And just unfortunately, I don't think Kensley Smith is going to be able to get his lap back. As you see Truth Hoke, they're getting into the outside wall on the exit turn 2. But I can't see at this point, you know, Kensley Smith, like I said, getting his lap back here. But since I know Kensley, you know, obviously he's not going to give up just that easily.
He'll be at least able to salvage a top 10 out of this with the extra pit stop. Looks like he'll probably get away with 9th. Maybe if he had a few more laps, maybe he could catch Kyle Hess in 8th. But... Oh! Somebody on the inside. Whoa.
Who is that? That is the 23 machine.
Is that Frank?
Yeah, Frank Chavez. All the way losing it out of turn 2, hit that inside wall, but luckily he was able to keep it straight, and so we're going to stay green flag here at Richmond. You know, these tires are starting to get very worn out now, so I think we're starting to see these guys lose it a little bit more out of these corners.
Yeah, Steve's just praying for no yellow here. He's got a nice little gap. He's just got to hit his marks. doesn't have a lot of traffic in front of him. If anything, Blair's got a bunch of traffic right now, so he just wants smooth sailing from here.
Yeah, for sure. You know, Holloman, he's praying that Luttrell, you know, does hit into some of that traffic and allow him to catch up. So it's going to be definitely be very interesting to see how this is all going to play out as you see Kensley Smith get into the outside wall there on the exit turn 2. And we are coming to 4 laps to go this time by for your race leader of Stephen Luttrell. Stephen Luttrell up to a 2.5 second lead now over Blair Holloman. So right now it is Stephen Luttrell's race to lose as he's coming around, I believe now, to get the 3 to go signal.
It's a pretty fun battle between teammates here, Truth and Troy. Steven's got about a 3 second lead right now, so we're not missing anything up there.
Yeah.
It's been going on for some time. They keep smoking the wall off the corners and stuff, but can't get away from each other.
Yeah, definitely. You know, you love to see it as, you know, a team owner, but you hate it as a team owner. Because if they wreck both cars, then you're out 2 cars, as we do have the 1 to go signal this time by. Ladies and gentlemen, your race leader currently, that number 36 is Stephen Luttrell. He is possibly going to be able to come around to the start-finish line and take home the win as he exits turn number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner, Stephen Luttrell. Blair Holloman, he will come home 2nd. And Cliff Adams will bring it home 3rd. Alex Teft with a good, hard battle up to that 4th spot. Sean Dunaway in that number 5 machine. And Brandon Sanfilippo, he will bring it up 15 spots to bring it home 6th. What an incredible race, all race long. 2 cautions on the whole entire night. That's just absolutely mind-blowing. You know, I really anticipated seeing, you know, maybe 4 or 5 cautions, but only getting 2. Just what a phenomenal run out of all of these gentlemen here tonight at Richmond Raceway. And the man that gets it done is Stephen Luttrell in that number 36 machine. And while he's going ahead and burning it down here, let's go ahead and take a look at our final results for tonight's race here at Richmond. Stephen Luttrell brings it home first with Blair Holloman in that number 32, bringing it home 2nd. 3rd is going to be Cliff Adams in his number 80 machine. Alex Teff will bring it home 4th. Sean Dunaways, Brandon Sanfilippo, Kyle Hess, Kevin Allen Wild will bring it home 8th. Kensley Smith will bring it home 9th. Truth Hope in the 55 will bring it home 10th. And I just want to point out Kyle Hess, we didn't really talk about him much. But man, what a drive for him, coming up 13 spots to secure that 7th place finish tonight. 11th, Troy Thomas. Timothy Eisburn will bring it home 12th. Curtis Ecker, Jesse Fox, Frank Chavez, Jonathan Stidham, Chris Gazel, Aaron Roth, Barry Nelson, Mike Fudge will round out your top 20. And to round out the remaining part of your field, Mikey Allen, Jordan Sailors, Brett Bray, Philip Archibald, they will round out your field here at Richmond. Let's go ahead and take a short break, and when we come back, we will talk with your top 3.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Richmond Raceway. As we get ready to conclude tonight's event here on Racers Elite Network for the Racers Elite Tuesday Night Truck Series. First and foremost, just what a phenomenal race all around. 2 cautions on the night. And with that being said, let's go ahead and let's talk with our top 3, starting off with Cliff Adams in that number 80 machine.
No service.
Cliff Adams, this is Mike and Andrew up in the booth to get a copy.
Yes, sir.
Cliff, what a phenomenal run for you once again in that number 80 machine. You moved up 3 spots from where you started here tonight, and just like last week, you came out swinging. And how fast was that number 80 Chevrolet today?
It felt good. A little bit in the beginning, just getting comfortable. I didn't get much practice because the update. I decided to do the whole entire update too late, so I only got 3 laps of practice. So really, the first round was getting comfortable, figuring out my line, and try to figure out as much brake bias adjustment as I could do in the truck. And then the rest of it, went down pit road. I was like, I'm gonna follow Steven. I'm gonna try to follow him through the field here and see where I end up. And it just worked out. I think that pit strategy was probably the best option for us.
Yeah, I think I even hit up on that a little bit as well. As you guys were coming up through the field, and you know, well, with having that 3, only 3 laps. What was your mindset? What were you thinking? I should say is where do you think you were gonna finish before the start of this race?
Well, at first, when I hit the practice or the qualifying laps and I qualified 6th, I was like, okay, I'm going to end up better than what I thought I was going to be. I was probably figuring around 10th, maybe, with very little practice. But after qualifying, I was like, okay, I got a chance to probably get a top 5 here if I could manage this right.
Yeah, definitely a very good strong run for you, Andrew. Do you got any questions here for Cliff Adams?
Yeah, what else do you think you needed there at the end to be able to run those guys down? You're able to gain a spot in the standings this week. I think you're 70 behind Blair and got about 41 up on the cutoff line, so it looks like you're pretty secure chase-wise with only 2 races left.
I don't know if there was much I could have done different. I pretty much had my brake bias where I was comfortable with without, as much practice, but maybe a little bit more practice with a little bit better brake bias adjustment.
hmm
Maybe I would have had something, but Blair, I mean, it was better for me to let him go. He was pressuring me so much, so often. Then they'd drive out a little bit and we kind of stable out and sit there for a little bit, and then they would keep inching a little bit farther away. So, but I don't actually know if I would have had anything for the 2 of them. They're always pretty fast.
Well, good stuff. Congratulations on the top 3, and we'll pass it back to you for your shoutouts.
Appreciate it. I'd just like to thank you guys up in the booth, putting on the broadcast, Andrew and everybody, admins, running the league and the broadcast booth, guys behind the scenes. We appreciate what you do out here.
Well, thank you.
Alrighty, yeah. Congratulations again, Cliff, on your third place finish, and we look forward to seeing you next week when we go to the High Banks at Daytona.
See you then.
Ladies and gentlemen, driver of that number 80 machine, Cliff Adams. Let's go ahead and bring up your runner-up tonight. Driver of that number 32 U-Haul truck, Blair Holloman. Blair, this is Mike and Andrew up in the booth. Got a copy?
How you doing, guys?
Doing pretty good, man. Just all around, what a phenomenal show for you. Um, Came out, qualified on pole. You pretty much called it, being very strong this week. Um, what did you need to do in order to get to the back bumper of Stephen Luttrell?
Probably a different approach that last run. My idea was try to run as like top five best I can because you never know what's gonna go on here. So my idea was to try to run as forward as I could without like making like a dumb move. You know what I mean? So we got to like lap 100, and I'm looking through the top five, like where is everybody? I'm like, Steven's in front of me by like a second. Cliff's back behind by like 2 seconds. I'm like, I'm comfortable right here. I'm like, let's collect the points and run. But and then I don't know what I should have done there because them lap trucks at the end got real entertaining to watch. Almost forgot I was racing. I was watching them play along. I'm like, all right, I actually need to keep driving the truck here. But it was quite a lot of fun seeing what they were up to at the end.
Yeah, definitely when you know you got a really good truck and you start watching the battles out in front of you and you're like, "Oh, this is so good. I'm going to stay right. Oh, wait a second. I actually got to go." So I definitely know that feeling all too well. So tonight, Blair, you didn't take any gambles. So you're thinking about the long run and the points and so talk about points next week into Daytona. What's your thoughts about Daytona, and what do you got to do survive Daytona to get over to Las Vegas at the new year?
Well, part of me wants to say first or fence for Daytona, but I know that's not the right way to go about it. Honestly, Daytona, it's really just be smart in the first half of the race. I mean, there's going to be some incidences. I mean, someone's going to get a bad push here or there. My strategy when we go to any super speedway is try to run the bottom. That way, if something happens, you got somewhere to go. I'm pretty good at yanking the truck to the apron, but uh, just I'd say the first 3 quarters of the race, just play smart, stay down low, don't make any dumb moves, And when you get toward the end there, it's like, well, you still got a faster pair. All right, well, let's go. I always look at super speedways as it's a throwaway race in the sense of let's just go for it. Um, I might you might see me be a little bit conservative for the first half, like I said, but we get toward the latter half of the race. If I'm still running, I'm gonna see what I can do. Uh, kind of want the truck to finish, but at the same time, hey, that's super speedway racing. If you ain't gonna finish, might as well go out trying to go for the win.
Absolutely. So that's definitely a very interesting plan for next week. Andrew, do you got any questions for Blair before we let him go?
Yeah, I'm just looking at his new sponsor and kind of wondering if we can call him Blair U. Holloman when he's running this truck.
Man, this truck, every time I see it in the officials, I chuckle because it's like I see my own creation out there. Usually somebody is either running toward the front or tearing up some of the field, and it's pure entertainment. I love seeing a U-Haul vehicle. You never know what you're gonna get, but it's gonna be chaotic at best, and it's always fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. Good run. And I'm going to pass it back to you for your shoutouts.
Yeah, I'll give a couple quick shout outs. I know my dad's watching. Hopefully he was entertained. I know went pretty green for most of the race. I ran what, the last 30, 35, 36 laps green, so that was a good run. Um, I know Jordan had to leave a little bit early. He had an incident there, and he just went like 4 laps down. He knew he wanted to pack it up early. I don't blame him. I understand. Yost, want to give a shout out to him. I know he's still exhausted from work, but hopefully he got to see his truck's run well for a little bit this evening. And my friend Sophie, I know she's watching. Truck's a U-Haul truck. You see one of them rental trucks out there, stay away from it. They're usually doing something crazy. Don't want to be a part of that. But all in all, thank you guys for hosting the broadcast. Tef with the league, and hopefully Daytona is going to be pretty fun. I might try to get a couple more people to run a U-Haul truck. I know I'll probably get Jordan in one of them, so See what chaos we can have.
Sounds like a great idea. Stay away from U-Haul trucks. It reminds me, about a month or a month and a half ago, we actually had a U-Haul truck drive into the U-Haul building and destroy the front end of the building. That was chaotic. So, ladies and gentlemen, Blair Holloman, driver of that U-Haul number 32 Chevrolet. We'll see you next week in Daytona.
I'll catch you guys.
Alrighty, let's go ahead and now bring up the man of the hour, Stephen Luttrell, driver of that number 36 Chevrolet or Toyota. Stephen Luttrell. Stephen, this is Mike and Andrew up in the booth. Got a copy.
I do. How's it going, guys?
It's going fabulous. First and foremost, congratulations on your back-to-back wins here in the league. We know Saturday you went out and won the Snowball Derby over at Five Flags, and then you come here to Richmond to knock out a win in the trucks here at here at Richmond. How was that truck today, and what was your plans throughout the race?
Yeah, just another track that really suits me. Anything under a mile, really. But no, I was super happy to see a yellow come out lap 10 or 13 or whatever that was. I knew I could come in and pit and then turn it into a one-stop race without having to worry about fuel, because I didn't want to have to try to save fuel in the run. I could just come in then and then make it one stop and just run it as hard as I absolutely wanted to. So that was a blessing in disguise, but not for whoever it came out for, but great for us.
Yeah, so early on, we had those two cautions, but then we reran the last 120 laps caution free. Did that play more into your favor? What strategy you wanted to play out? And did you expect to have no more cautions after that?
I did not expect to have no cautions after that. I thought we'd have at least, 3 or 4 throughout the whole race. I mean, this league is really good about racing clean and not bringing out a lot of cautions. There's not a lot of leagues you can run 20 plus cars at Richmond and only have 2 cautions. But yeah, it was good because I really like the long run, so I can save tires and be nice to my tires, and while everybody else beats them up, and I can kind of just drive away. And yeah, so long runs help me out tremendously.
Yeah, definitely. Before we let you go, Andrew, is there anything that you would like to ask Steve on?
I just want to say congratulations. Had a really good week. Won the snowball, the practice for the snowball, and now this. So, great runs all around. And when I think of you, I always think of like the 1.5 miles and the 2 milers because we're always battling there. But apparently, you're a big threat at short tracks too. So, just congratulations, and I want to throw it back to you for your shoutouts.
Yeah. Short tracks is where I was. I think I was born at a short track. I got to thank you for putting on the league. The broadcast. I love watching these back, and I just first and foremost got to thank my mom and my dad for raising me right and putting me in a race car, and my wife and my whole family and everybody out there watching.
Beautiful. And I did just think of one more question. Tomorrow night, we're heading to Iowa in the Xfinity cars. Iowa's somewhat of a similar track to Richmond. So, what do you expect tomorrow night in the Xfinity series?
It is similar, but it does drive just a little bit different. It's a little bit shorter. The Xfinity cars are a little more touchy on their tires, but looking for the same thing. We'll just have to see what happens, qualify up front, and hope we can catch some breaks and put it out front.
It sounds like a good plan. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, your race winner right here at Richmond, driver of that number 36 Toyota, it's going to be Stephen Luttrell. All around, what a phenomenal race we saw today. And, we keep bragging on 2 cautions the entire race, which is absolutely crazy. And that just proves how much of a good time we enjoy having out here. So, with that being said, if you guys want to get involved, head over to racerselite.com. Scan that QR code, join us up in Discord, and get set up for a lot of fun racing coming up, a lot of money racing coming up, and just for a good old time, guys. Just racerselite.com. Make sure you hit that subscribe button down below as well. Hit the bell to get all the notifications when we go live. And on behalf of myself, Mike Taylor, up here in the booth with one of the league owners and a good buddy, Andrew Teft, and the man behind the cams, it's going to be Christian Hill. On behalf of everybody here, you guys have yourself a beautiful evening, and always remember, no matter what you do in life, you guys have fun doing it. If it's not fun, you make it fun. Until next time, you guys have yourself a beautiful time zone, and we will see you next week in Daytona.
Good night, folks.